feed the other day. Great news for me. Oh, Austin.
How are you, Jimmy?
You hear the good news, Austin?
What's that?
He got me a wife, the matchmaker.
Our strange devotion to trying to separate what's fiction and what is documentary, I think it's very immature. That's the scene you saw, this strange scene where he comes running up to his friend and say, the matchmaker found me a wife, you know. Right. That was actually the last shot we made, right?
Was that in reality? Did that happen?
No, not at all. No, I made it happen, right? But it could have happened, right?
So you would pre-interview them, and based on their answers, you would write a script? Is that what? And so these stories you had written from those interviews?
Yeah, I made my research, right? And I make a very profound research. I love research.
Then you go! Are you afraid of dying, Austin?
Og ofte giver dem nye replikker midt i en scene for at fange deres umiddelbare reaktioner.
Ask him, are you afraid of dying, Austin?
What's going on over there?
Jimmy, ask him, are you afraid of dying?
Are you afraid of dying, Austin?
No.
You wouldn't care to die. Neither would I. I wouldn't care.
1, 4, 3, 1. And action. No, excuse me. You just sleep down with the head.
What's the fucking action about then?
Take two.
Very often when I work with professional actors, they have you have to really look out because some actors have a certain technique, right? And when you actually are shooting on the set, they can survive based on their technique, and you don't see the hollowness of them before you actually sit in the editing room and it's too late, right? While those guys, you know, they have a certain kind of amateurish way of acting, but for me it's beautiful because they give a kind of interpretation of themselves. And take camera back. And Rune, is it okay? Do you think it's right that this woman should die in this story?
Yeah, I think she should die.
And how would you feel about being you who portrays this woman? Do you feel that she should end in that coffin?
Yeah, I think she should spend the rest of the day in this coffin, actually. No, I think she should die. I mean...
I asked her, do you think this is right? Do you think actually she should die, you know? And what do you think is, how do you react to this as an actor, you know, as an intelligent human being? How do you, being a South African, you know, me being a stranger in South Africa? And I go in and out of fiction all the time. I give them a chance to do something which for us very puritanic, northern Germanic tribes is very hard. In my country, it's a shame to look at yourself in the mirror. You shouldn't be self-conscious. You should forget yourself, right? But suddenly, by doing this kind of films, you know, they had to study, you know, how do I actually sleep? You know, how do I line with the bed?
Or will we even be? Will anybody have heard of us in 10 years? I wonder if we'll be dead. Maybe I'll die and I'll go to heaven and I'll be sitting up there with my wings and my harp, sitting on a cloud, strumming a melody, and looking down on you, David, wherever you are.
I love doubt, right? I think doubt is the ground material for whatever, right? And it's funny, very funny to see, for example, in that when we talk about the Hollywood structure, doubt has been eliminated. It's an enemy because it costs box office, right? And it's another enemy is that because you cannot, if you don't have actors with a huge amount of authenticity, they cannot carry the doubt.
Population has been down a lot.
Some are religious and some are not. Some are rich and some are poor.
Were you born rich?
No.
That's why I especially love the Karoo. In my area here, the openness, and you can even say there's sort of a loneliness.
In the beginning, I always thought maybe you'd pop up at some stage or another. For the first year anyway, there was always the possibility that he might. Especially when people phone and they say they've seen him.
Now they're so poor, they live in the same apartment, but they hate each other, they don't like each other, they really dislike each other. So I made a fantastic choreography, which is that, you know, when in the morning, you know, she have her coffee, morning coffee in the kitchen, he goes out and sits in the car, and everything is fully choreographed, so they don't have to be in the same room during the day, right? And I think that's filmic and enormously interesting, right, to see those two, because they cannot afford to have two homes, right? In the first movie you saw with the old people in that house, I didn't like what was outside the windows, so I made windows. And when I made the POV with the bus, we took the whole window, brought it to another part, and shot what I wanted, the simplicity of the landscape. I wanted to be connected to that hotel. Outside the hotel was some kind of irritating buildings and stuff like that. That didn't enhance the story as I saw the story, right? And I think it's my duty as a filmmaker to enhance the story, to kind of clarify the poetic dimension in a reality.
Bussen igen. Der er som sædvanligt ingen i, hverken ud eller hjem på denne årstid.
Nej, så er det godt, at der kommer nogen i morgen jo.
I actually think I can finally maybe tell a story in a more traditional way. Because, up until now I always wanted to, if I was writing, I also had to incorporate the pen I was writing with, right? I had to kind of describe this tool as well as the narrative, right? I actually think finally I can tell a story which is only the story, right?